Good morning, everyone. I hope you're well. It's nice to do an assembly this morning on what is a very funny week. Today feels like it's almost the start of the week, but it's also feels a little bit like a Friday. And if you're having school dinners, you get to eat fish fingers today, which is like normally what we do on a Friday, isn't it? Tomorrow our school is shut because adults in the local community are coming here to vote. But because we've missed quite a lot of school, there will still be some learning for you to do on Seesaw. So your teachers today will be uploading some work for you to do tomorrow, and there'll be some English and some maths for you to do on there. But then on Friday, there won't be any work at all because all of the adults that work in the school are spending the day together to try and be better at making you guys learn or helping you guys to learn. You can see just there, something very exciting. That is an oak tree, which Miss Parker has donated to the school. So at the moment, because it's so little, I've put it somewhere where you won't be able to play near it because I want it to grow a little bit more. And then what we will do is we will plant it somewhere in the conservation area, and there won't be a ribbon tied around it, so you won't be able to climb it. And then over time, it will grow. If you think back to one of my assemblies last week or the week before, we learnt about oak trees, didn't we? And we learnt that they can live for 1,000 years. So that oak tree will be here much, much longer than any of us will be, which I think is a really exciting thing to be. We're in school at the start of that oak tree's life. So it will be here for many, many years after we are long gone. Today's assembly, I'm going to talk to you about a few different things, but they're based on things that I've been talking to you about quite a lot. So the 3 rules that we have in our school, as we all know, are that we must show excellence in everything that we do. We must show respect to everyone in our school and everything in our school, and we must show integrity, which means we make the right choices even when there's nobody watching. And today's assembly is about the importance of wild things. And I know I've been talking about wild things quite a lot. But I thought it's also really about integrity, because what I'm going to do is at the end of the assembly, I'm going to tell you who will be the people who are helping to keep our wild area, our woods, keep it as beautiful as it is. I've got somebody for most of the bubbles. In Key Stage 2, I've got lots of helpers for Bubble C and Bubble B and Bubble A. And in Key Stage 1, I've got helpers for Bubble B, but I still haven't got any helpers for Bubble A or Bubble C. So, if you are in Owl's class or Chaffinch class or Mallard's class and you would like to help in the woods and you would like to help people show integrity, there it is, then please let me know. And if you are in Robin's class or Woodpecker's class or Puffin's class and you'd like to help in the woods, then let me know and you can be a helper. So I'm going to read you a story, and then I'll come back. We'll come back at the end talking about integrity, and I will tell you who's going to be helping in the woods. So the book today, let me get out of the way. Off I go. I keep cutting the top of my head off as well. The book today was given to me by Mrs. Hamilton, who always gives me beautiful books. These books, she gave me 3 books yesterday, and I could have used any of them for today's assembly, but I've chosen to use this one, which is called Away with Wild Things, and it's written by Larissa Thule, and it's illustrated by Sarah Palacios. Now, this book is absolutely beautiful, but there's a bit of scientific language later on in the book, and I don't know how to say the word. So I'm going to try my best. And then what I'd like you to do when I get to that word is I'd like you in your classes to have a go at saying that word too. And if anyone knows how to pronounce it properly, they can come and let me know later today. So, away with wild things. Oh, this page is a bit fuzzy. So, Poppy Anfields likes bugs. They were her friends. She sat among the wild flowers, listening patiently to the sounds of nature all around her. She coaxed the shy roly-poly out of her shell. When ants marched over her, Poppy let them, even though she was very ticklish. She recognised the spider's mama, weaving for what it was, magnificent art. This page made me think a bit of my daughter. I did some gardening this weekend, and my daughter interacted with a spider for the first time, and she picked it up and she played with it really carefully, and that's what Poppy Ann reminds me of in this page. She spent long summer afternoons talking with the ladybirds about shapes and colours and the height of flowers. But when she was around people, Poppy felt shy and preferred to disappear into the background. At parties, she hid in stripes, and you can spot her just there at the back. And in the bright florals. Can you see her on this page? She became a landscape, or a tree. She was the pouring rain, a patterned curtain, a leopard in the menagerie. When Grandma Phyllis turned 100, Poppy stood watching the party from a distance. I wonder if you can spot her on this page. Guests milled about, coming together to hug and shake hands. Some people danced, the children ran. They looked like colourful leaves falling into each other, then drifting apart. A small wind blew across the garden. On it rode a dragonfly. He landed on the cake. His wings shimmered in the sun. Poppy clapped her hands, filled with delight. Uncle Dan said, "Poppy Anfield, there you are!" His voice was louder than the humming of 1,000 dragonflies. The guests went quiet. Poppy froze. Every eye fell upon her. She felt her cheeks go red. The dragonfly flew off the cake and landed in her hand. Someone gasped, "Did you see that? It flew to her like it knows her." "Well, Poppy's got away with wild things," said Grandma Phyllis. Everyone came Everyone came in for a closer look. Poppy's feet refused to move. She would have liked to run to the trees beyond the garden. She wished the people would all turn away and leave her alone. She couldn't look at them. So she looked at the dragonfly, soft and fragile in her hands. She knew the dragonfly had come here for her. The wind lifted her hair and cooled her face. The wildflowers swayed beneath the trees. She breathed. "What a beautiful dragonfly," said one of the guests. "The scientific name, this is the word, is Ansopatera," said Poppy, softly but clearly. She probably pronounced it better than me. "You wildflower, you," whispered Grandma Phyllis. The small wind still blew. Poppy knew she didn't have to disappear into the background. Leaves and wings fluttered to the beat of her heart. She was bright and full of colour, just like a wildflower. And here we can see, let me get my pointer. Here we can see Poppy feeling much better now. So, the reason I read you this book is because I think it shows us the importance of the wild to certain people. It's really important, isn't it, that we let our wild area, our woods, grow so that people can feel comfortable in them. Miss Buckman has spent some time refilling the sensory garden, which is located in the woods. So when you're out there playing, you must try to show integrity and to keep to the Woodland Charter that Callan and me explained to you. So, without further ado, I'm going to let you know who is a woodland helper, or as Miss Hamilton called them, Woodland Warriors. So for Bubble B in Key Stage 1, Zara and Awesome are going to be our woodland helpers. And what they'll be doing is they'll check that the charter's being followed, they'll help clear some litter, and they'll come up with ideas to improve the area. In Key Stage 2, in Bubble A, it's Callum and Cerruti from Starlings. They've already been doing that job and they've been doing fantastic work. So thank you to you two for showing integrity and for helping us keep our woods wild. In Bubble B, it's Jacob, Harrison and Lewis, who are all in sandpipers. They asked me if they could help, and I've seen them playing in the woods for a long time, and they use it very well. So they'll be checking that things are going well in there. They'll be checking that people are showing integrity. And then in Bubble C, in Key Stage 2, I had lots and lots of children in Bubble C, in Key Stage 2. Loads of you asked to help, so thank you. But for the time being, I've chosen Jordan and Risha, who are both in Gold Crests. Jordan started straight away helping in the woods, so thank you very much, Jordan, and I think Risha will be able to complement his skills. So, it's really important that all of us try our best to show integrity when we're in the woods, but if we forget the charter, and if we forget how we need to behave in there, then there are now children who will help you remember, as well as the adults who are always based in there. Please make sure that you treat the woods with respect and that you let the wild things grow, because the wild things can help us grow, just like it did for Poppy and Fields in our book today. Okay, I won't do another assembly until next week now, so have a lovely weekend, enjoy the 4 days off, and goodbye.